Shalom, Call Holaimlah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and blessings to hopeful elect and the brothers that's pushing this truth. Shalom. Now this lesson is going to be diving into how the Israelites were taken from off the west coast in the interior of Africa, and how they called the pretty much the Edomites and the Hamites knew what they were doing when they sent the Israelites, the southern kingdom of Israel. As you can see here on this Wikipedia page, they have the name of the land of, they have that kingdom, so to speak, which they called Whydah, pronounced Haida, or as you can see, Judah, Judah, because those were the Israelites. Now let's just, before I dive in, the so-called blacks are the southern kingdom of Israel, taken off, mainly taken from the west coast of Africa, which they fled to after the siege of Jerusalem in 70 A.D. by the same people that took them off the west coast of Africa, the Edomites, which are the Romans, the Greeks, so on and so forth, which is clearly written in the scriptures. And as you can see here, let's dive in into what this says. The kingdom of Haida, right? Judah, the kingdom of Judah, but also known and spelled in old literature as Huda, Whydah, A Judah, Auda, Whydah, Judah, and Judah, right? Because that area of West Coast Africa were the Israelites. They weren't Hamites. You see these Edomites try to, what was it, 1980s. Let's see if I can get that real quick with Jesse Jackson, I believe his name is Jesse Jackson, African American, 1980. Boom, January 31st, 1989. Jesse Jackson to call blacks African Americans. You understand? So up until the 80s, the 1980s, we were not known as so-called Africans, because it was known that the so-called blacks that came on the slave ships were Israelites. But then through slavery and these Edomites trying to take our nationality, they started calling us Negro first. Then they started calling us whatever came afterwards, black, you know, Afro, whatever, right? And then the final hammer on the head is African American in the 80s. Because as you can see from here, the kingdom of Judah, let's keep reading, was a kingdom on the coast of West Africa in what is now Benin. It was a major slave trading area which exported more than 1 million Israelites, not Africans, they were Israelites. Clearly, the kingdom was called Judah, to the U.S. and Brazil, so the Americas, before closing its trade in the late in the 1860s. In 1700, it had a coastline of around 10 miles under King Hafun. This was expanded to 40 miles and stretching 25 miles inland. The kingdom of Judah was centered in Savi. It also had connection to the city, also pronounced in Judah again. All right. The last ruler of Judah was King Hafon, who was disposed in 1727 when Judah was conquered and annexed by the kingdom of Dahomey, if I'm pronouncing that right. The name, I'm gonna read it verbatim right here. Whydah is an I can't pronounce that word right here. Anglicized form of Zaida from Zaida Gabi language and people of Benin. Today, the Beninese city of Iuda bears the kingdom's name to the west of its former Popo kingdom, where most of European slave traders lived and worked because they were rounding up Israelites. You had Hamites, you see Edomites knew what the Israelites were on the west coast of Africa because the Hamites and the Ishmaelites, which are so-called Arabs, gave ear to the Edomites. Then they pulled up, and then the Hamites and the Ishmaelites started rounding up, hunting down the Israelites, capturing them, and then selling them to the to the Edomites, so-called white people. You see, but in history they'll tell you that Africans sold Africans. No, so-called Hamites, which are known as Africans, you know, from Ethiopians to Canaan, so to speak, Canaan, all right, Cushites, so on and so forth. They, the Hamites, sold the Israelites to the Edomites, which are, so-called white people. And they came under the guise, right, the identity as Greeks, Romans, then now British, Americans, so on and so forth. But their biblical nationality of so-called white people are the Edomites, and the biblical nationality of so-called Africans are the Hamites, the sons of Ham. Now you have many nationalities of people who have dark skin, woolly hair, like the Hamites, the Israelites, the Japhetic people, so on and so forth. But as we know, with these devils ruling, they got to twist around worlds and have fake science to forward their agenda of white superiority. But clear as day, on the Wikipedia page, it straight up just calls the land the kingdom of Judah, which, as we know through the scriptures, the Israelites would be brought to slave ships onto a land unknown to them, which is the Americas. Now here, go to this article right here. Before I go to this article, let me go to Joel, the second chapter. Joel chapter 2. Let's go to Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3 from the top, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So the Israelites will be freed from their enemies, not being um under arms, under captivity of their enemies again. They're not going back into captivity. They're being brought back from captivity. All right, that's what that's going into. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. That's how you properly pronounce that, which means Yahweh's judgment, and will plead with them there, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, which the Edomites are doing. I think just like 2 weeks ago, whoever this leader or whatever, the president, the king of the Israelis, came out and pretty much was saying that they're parting the land again for the what is it, the Palestinians or whatever, heathens, because they want peace. As you can see, this is what Joel chapter 3 is going into. They went to the kingdom of Judah. The Hamites rounded up the Israelites and sold them off into the Edomites. And at the same time, the Edomites started pretending to be Israelites. Let's Salaki on that. Press the wrong thing. Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, slavery, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? So these are talking about the Hamites and the Ishmaelites that rounded up the Israelites and sold them to the Edomites. And all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Because they pillaged the children of Israel. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. You understand? West coast of Africa. They slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, which is the biggest migration, forced migration of any quote unquote race of people. The children also of Judah, all right, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, the Edomites, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, Babylon the Great, and the rest of the countries that we've been scattered to throughout Asia, Africa, New Zealand, whatever, Europe. It will return your recompense upon your own head. So Psalms 83, what is it? Isaiah 14. We're gonna enslave everybody. Everybody's gonna be under the foot of the Israelites. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for Yahweh hath spoken it. Now let's go to Tyre and Zidon in Palestine. Let's go into the Strongs just to show you that it's talking about the Hamites and Ishmael, which are the so-called Africans and Arabic, right? Those are not biblical nationalities. Go to Tyre, the Phoenician city of the Mediterranean coast. Famous Phoenician city, if I'm pronouncing that right. Assyrian, Egyptian, all right. City of Hiram, a place in Palestine. You understand? So that's going into these Ishmaelites. Zidon, ancient Phoenician city of Mediterranean coast north of Tyre, the name of a son of Canaan, right? Canaan, which are the Hamites, and that's the two people that was helping Esau round up Jake, the southern kingdom specifically, was so-called Arabs and so-called Africans. But now through Esau's fake history, he tells you that Africans sold Africans, and that the Edomites are done away with, and that so-called the Israelis are the Israelites, so on and so forth. And through these scriptures, we are destroying Esau's lies completely and utterly. Check this out right here. Negro land. You understand? Negro land. They called it that because those were Israelites. You see how this is the scriptures is lining up with history because it's prophecy. Now let's go to these few articles now. Some of this is not, you know, just from reading it, it's kind of folly, as you can see from the title. But the information they bring out is pretty much on point. The tribe of Judah, all right? Before black people, so-called black people, were colonized by Europeans, we were known as members of the tribe of Judah, and that's correct. We knew that we were the Israelites at that very moment before the Edomites enslaved us and beat our heritage out of us, which is in the prophecies that in the scriptures that we would lose our heritage as being the Israelites. And the Israelis say they always knew that they were the Israelites. Let's get what was it? Jeremiah 16. Let me see. Jeremiah 16, I believe. Let me see, or 17. All right, perfect. Jeremiah 16 and 13. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall you serve other gods day and night, where I'll not shew you favor. And that's going into the Americas. And all the other lands that the Israelites have dwelled in, but mainly talking about Babylon the Great, which was only being inhabited by the northern kingdom of Israel. But this is not the main one I want to go into. Let me see. But that goes into the Israelites coming here in these slave ships to the Americas, North, South, Central, whatever, the Caribbeans. Um, let's see. Discontinue. Discontinue. All right, let's get it. Jeremiah the 17th chapter. All right, Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. And even thou, even thyself, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. But it's not literally going to burn forever, because Romans 11, all right, the 11th chapter, Romans 9, Yahweh Shemi Al always going to show favor to the Israelites. And this proves that the Israelites will go into slavery in a land that they do not know and lose the knowledge of them being the Israelites, which coincidentally the Israelis says never happened to them. This has only happened to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And that's not talking about the Hamites, the actual Egyptians, because it's going into Babylon the Great, and I'm gonna prove that. Let's get This is Romans 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Because Yahushua, who the wrote and he calls Jesus Christ, was blasphemed by the name, calling him Jesus, blasphemed by his image, making him have leprosy, and blasphemed about his gospel by saying everybody can be saved. That's what that crucifixion is going into. And as you can see here, it called that place Egypt, which we are in Babylon the Great, which that's what it's referring to. Because the Israelites, all throughout the scriptures, are stated to be in Babylon the Great. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt just goes into being enslaved, which the Israelites have indeed been enslaved by these Edomites in the Americas. And the most heinous acts have been done to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which is in the scriptures, that we would be treated this way for breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. Let's get it. No, it's in Daniel, the book of Daniel. Son. Give me a moment. How did under heaven? Things like that. Let's see. No, it's in the book of Daniel. Perfect. Daniel 9 and 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. So the Israelites will get the most evil done to them out of any nation on the planet Earth, up until a certain point, until the Edomites get judged. You understand? Because the Edomites will get double that they've done to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, according to these scriptures, according to the words of the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai, which is the Holy Bible. Now let's get to prove that the Israelites will be on the bottom until the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai, well specifically Yahweh Shai, returns under Yahweh's command. Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And the last Gentile to control the earth is Esau. Let's get that. Esau. And I think it's 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Let me see. Yep, 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you Edomites are going to be the last to rule before the Edomites control the earth forever. So the Israelites are going to have to be in captivity and at the bottom until that time is over. Now let's get some more. Let's see. Deuteronomy 28 and 44. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up high above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Not literally forever, is going into a long time until really until this society collapses, because that's when the Israelites, the elect, will get spiritual power. But as a collective whole, it will be until Yahweh Shai comes back. Now, that proves that the Israelites will be at the bottom of this society, really until Yahweh Shai comes back. So let's get Daniel chapter 2 that further proves this statement even more. You gotta overwhelm with facts. Daniel chapter 2. So it goes into how you have Babylon, Medo-Persian, Greece, Rome, which Rome extends to Great Britain and into the U.S. And then here, verse 44, Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 44, and in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and a kingdom shall not be left for other people. Right? It's only going to be for the Israelites. Nobody, no heathen is going to be ruling side by side with the Israelite in the kingdom of heaven. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And that's going into the Israelites. Let's get that too. Let's go back because I seen it in Daniel when we were scrolling through earlier. Let's see. Go back one more, I think. Nope. Let's keep going back. All right, I think we're here. Nope. Let's see. I think it was Daniel chapter. I think Daniel chapter 12. I think it was Daniel chapter 12. Let's see. Daniel chapter 7, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. And that goes into Yahushai and again the saints, which are the Israelites. So that just further proves that the Israelites have no command over the planet Earth right now, which means the Edomites have command over the planet Earth. Because as we can see here, Esau's the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. Job 9:24, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Romans chapter 9. Pretty much almost, I say about 60-70% of Revelations, Obadiah. All right. Ezekiel. Let's get Ezekiel. Where how we use in Joel chapter 3 about them parting the land. Who parted that land? This is all end time prophecy because you Edomites are still here. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus said Yahweh thy power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which are the Edomites, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for prey. And this is all end time prophecy. Again, the Edomites are still here because in the kingdom of heaven is when they'll be enslaved. Um, First judgment, enslavement, extermination. Obadiah 1 and 21, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh. So in the kingdom of heaven is when you Edomites will get your judgment, which proves that you're still here. You haven't been exterminated by the Israelites yet, because you Edomites are you so-called white people. Point blank, period. And if you look at going back to America being Egypt, US $1 pyramid. There's obelisk. Isn't there an obelisk or something like that in Washington? Let's get it. You see this? Why is this on here? You understand? Because you Edomites study all these ancient civilizations, specifically the ones that had some type of authority over the Israelites, and you take their customs and use it on the left hand side to oppress the Israelites. How do you spell obelisk in the U.S.? You see that in Washington. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's obelisks all over the U.S. And the Space Force, which I believe is Space Force. How do you spell Sphinx? I think the Space Force is controlled by the U.S. and coincidentally, you have this Sphinx head on it. You understand? And I believe. Let me double check right now. I'm just going through the spirit. The Space Force is established in the U.S. The U.S. Space Force. That's right. So America is after the liking of Egypt, like the scriptures says it is, like how Deuteronomy chapter 28:68 says that we would be. Let's get another one. Violent. Perfect. Isaiah 22:18, he will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country, that there shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of the Lord's house. And that goes into you Edomites packing Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the rest of the 12 tribes like sardines in slave ships. All right? And you're going to pay. You're going to pay for everything that you've done to the children of Israel. You're going to pay the things you've done to other heathens. You're going to pay what you've done to the earth, but mainly what you've done to the children of Israel, because we are the apple of the Most High's eye. Zechariah 2:8. For thus said Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So you Edomites and the rest, you heathens, are going to pay for everything you've done to the children of Israel. Let's go back to some more articles. All right. Before so-called black people, before the Israelites were colonized by the Edomites, we were known as the Israelites. One of the largest slave ports in West Africa, which many of our ancestors were stolen from, was labeled the Kingdom of Judah by the Israelites. And the heathens knew what they were doing. They knew the Edomites, quote unquote, Europeans, Grecians, when they came, and the Hamites that were already there, when they pulled up to the west coast of Africa, they knew they had ill intent already to come up That's why they already had building materials and everything else to pull up and start rounding up the Israelites. Below is a 1747 map of Africa created by an English cartographer named Edward Bowen. This map shows specifically where the ancestors of many African Americans come from, which are the Israelites. As you can see, Salakia. As you can see here, the kingdom of Judah. You can view the full map on the link below. Let's look at the map. Negro land. Because they knew that that we were different people. The Israelites, or I should say the Hamites, look like Israelites. What is this? The library. This is the Library of Congress. Before I get into this, the Hamites look like the Israelites. That's why the Edomites love to try to whitewash Egypt, because the Egyptians and the Israelites looked like the same people. Dark skin, woolly hair. Exodus 11:7, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Let me reread that again. And that what it's talking about a dog, is talking about you heathens. Because you heathens ain't nothing. You're nothing. And we're already proving that you're nothing spiritually, and it's gonna turn physical. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Now look at the map. Negro land. Why did they call this part Negro land? And Judah, because they were after you Israelites. You understand? They knew what they was doing. It wasn't no accident. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just some more um, things, but the evidence is overwhelming. Who the Israelites are, who the Edomites are. You understand? Overwhelming, and I'm gonna keep bringing it out and we're gonna keep bringing it out. And I love bringing out certain scriptures, because it just cuts this doctrine of Christianity. The whole Bible does. You got to go straight to the point. You got to hit it. You see, like how I see it, and how pretty much all the brothers see it, you know, that are on the level, on a specific level. You got to start with like a foundation when you're breaking down the truth. Because it starts it starts with like an image, especially with Jake. Jake is like, oh, you got to show me something. That's how Jake is. So first, you got to hit him with the true image of the Most High, which is a so-called black person, so-called black skin, right? Dark skin, not literally black skin, but a very dark brown, because nobody in the world has black skin, all right? White woolly hair, just woolly hair that's white, mentioned in the scriptures. You understand? Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. So once you get the image down, then now you understand what the angels are looking like. The image of the angels is mentioned in the scriptures. They look like Israelites, and they're mentioned to have brown colored skin. The Israelites are mentioned to have brown colored skin. Yahweh Shai, who the world enemy calls Jesus, and God are mentioned to have woolly hair. King David, King Solomon are mentioned to have ruddy complexion, which is what? reddish brown. You understand? So once you get the image down, then you gotta then you're like, all right, so why and then you gotta get the name, of course. The name too. The name is really the most important part. So you gotta get the name, and then now you gotta be like, so you gotta question why does he look like that? Why is his name Jesus? Why does he look like a so-called white person? Then you go into the scriptures and it tells you why. Let's get it. Job 9, um Job 9:24. And to look like a so-called white person, let me just get a photo. Even though this is like mental mental like barrier, because you gotta type in white person to get a pale red person. You understand? This background is white, kinda, and he's clearly red. Clearly, I mean, look, he's wearing white. He's literally wearing white. So how nobody looked at a so-called white person and be like before they were called so-called white, which started in America to establish their fake superiority over the Israelites, which clear as day they're not superior than Israelites, and we're not even on no level yet. We're not even really on no level yet. We at the lowest point we ever been, and we still superior than everybody. I digress. You see his skin, right? That is literally a sin. Literally, it's in the scriptures. To have pale red skin is a sin. It's a curse. Numbers, oh man, I think it's Numbers 12, man. And there's multiple ones, but Numbers 12 is the best one because the Most High Himself put leprosy on Miriam. All right, Numbers 9. I don't want to read it. You can read it yourself. Numbers 12, 9 through 12. You understand? So once you realize looking like this is a sin, then you gotta be like, who in the fuck is this? This is just some straight up. I mean, it's all bullshit, but this is just even more folly that Esau is pushing out. Who is? See, now they got multiple different type of photos, but this is the one that's used the most. This is sin. This is literally blaspheming. Now let's go back to Job 9:24. Uh, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, the Edomites, Malachi chapter 1. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? So he covered up the faces. Why? Whitewashing. Let's get another one in Maccabees. I think it's Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter, I think 11. Let me see. Oh man. Job. Salakia. I don't know why I'm saying Job. No. First Maccabees. Give me a moment. First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen have sought to paint in the likeness of their images. And that's Job 9:24. Now, he covereth the faces of the judges. Who are the judges? God is the ultimate judge, correct? Let's prove that. Oh, Psalms 82:8. Arise, O power, which is Yahweh, judge the earth. So that's one judge. Yahweh Shai was given authority, which is to judge over the earth. Let's get that real quick. What was it? Matthew 28. Matthew 28. And 18. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So that's 2 judges down. Now let's get the Israelites. Matthew 19 and 28. And Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in a regeneration, reincarnation, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, Yahushua is talking about himself, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So those are Israelites as well. So when you go into Job 9:24, the Edomites, which are the wicked, covered the faces of the Most High, his only begotten Son, and the Israelites, and the angels, you understand? This is not, like I said already, this is blasphemy, which 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 goes into. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, the Israelites forgetting who they are while they're in slavery in a land that they do not know. And that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, you Edomites, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sent the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is the Most High. Slave port in Judah, West Africa, today. This is a Portuguese slave fort still standing in the town originally called Judah, as seen on our homepage 18th century map of West Africa, now known as Iuda or Ida in the West African country of Benin, and as you'll see further below, the Portuguese originally called the town Ajuda, because they knew that they were coming for the Israelites. You see these this is just going into it more. You see these lower level Edomites don't know what the hell really going on, man. For real, with the so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans. Now on the spiritual level, they had an enmity between us, because it's in their spirits to try to come and slaughter us, like this scripture says. Genesis 27 and 41, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing whereof his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, that I will slay my brother Jacob. So it's in their spirit, but they don't understand that we're the Israelites. But now, brothers like me that's pushing this truth and proclaiming it, they're starting to realize what was about to go down with them and with us, because we're about to rule, man. They've been ruling, now we about to rule. Let's get a scripture on that. Ecclesiasticus, otherwise known as Book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. You understand? That's pretty much describing you Edomites. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. That translation will be force. It's not gonna We're not gonna walk up to you Edomites and be like, "You give us rulership over the planet Earth, please." No, we gonna blitz them and slaughter them, and then enslave their kings. Daniel 7:18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. And clearly, you have the wicked bearing rule right now. Let's go into that too. I think Proverbs 13. Let's see. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And as we can clearly see, the people are mourning right now. You Israelis or Edomites, you you Americans, Edomites, British Edomites. You're going to your kingdom is gonna collapse. You Edomites, you lower level Edomites, you're just gonna lose. I mean, all Edomites are gonna lose, but on the surface, as society's collapsing, these elite level Edomites are gonna be in their bunkers chilling, sending out their Terminators and their lackeys while they're in their 25,000 square foot space bunkers or whatever, right? And the rest of you Edomites are just gonna get slaughtered. You gonna slaughter Jake 2/3. The elect gonna be out here. Put it like this: you got predators, right? And typically, out of the predators, you have ones called the apex predator. Let's just get that real quick. This is what's about to happen. You understand? Very soon. Look what's going on. Apex predator. I'm gonna end this off right here too. Who is the apex predator of the world? Humans, right? Humans are the apex predators of the world. But let's just go into what the definition of an apex predator is. An apex predator, also known as a top predator, is a predator at the top of a food chain without natural predators of its own. So examples of apex predators are like lions, tigers, killer whales, grizzly bears, Kodiak bears, polar bears, crocodiles. You get what I'm saying? And of course, humans. But the humans are above pretty much everything. But out of those humans, you have gods, which are the Israelites. Right now, we are not the apex predator. We're still on a level, somewhat on a level of these heathens, because we've been brought low. You see, back when King David had authority under his men, the house of David, they was tearing shit up. Let's get some scriptures. A man with a spear, one of them brothers, our forefathers with a spear, killed 800 men. Let's get that. At one time, um, 2 Samuel's 23:8. These be the names of the mighty men when David had. The Techemite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains, the same as was Adino, the Ezonite. He lift up his spear against 800 whom he slew at one time. So one man killed 800 men with a spear, man. That is some apex predator stuff right there. And here's what's crazy. The spiritual power that's coming to the Israelites now is going to be insanely crazier than this. Because we got to go against Terminators. You understand? Robots moving thousands of miles an hour, missiles moving thousands. You understand? It's literally going to be like some anime stuff out here. So the Israelites are going to become apex predators. You understand? I'm going to give you, let me see. You understand this top right here going to be the elect, the 144,000. I'm just talking about in Jacob's trouble. You understand? When society gets completely collapsed, there's no more 911, and essentially every man for himself. The survival of the fittest, right? It will be a survival of the fittest, and the fittest will be the elect. 144,000 gonna be up here. You're gonna have a 1/3 right there. Then you're gonna have these Edomites right here. All right. Then you're gonna have the rest of the heathens, and then the 2/3 is gonna be at the bottom. Cause you 2/3 at the bottom right now. So you 2/3 is literally gonna be at the bottom of this chart, this apex predator chart or whatever this chart is. You Edomites these Edomites and the rest of you heathens out here, mainly these Edomites, is gonna start slaughtering you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's gonna slaughter you worse than any type of slaughterment and treatment he's ever done to you. You're gonna get humiliated again. But the elect, the 1/3 and the 144 make up that are in that 1/3 will be the apex above them all through spiritual power, the Elohim coming down, Micah Yalla coming down. But then all of Israel will become that apex predator in the kingdom of heaven forever. But you Edomites is gonna be exterminated, you so-called white people. But I'm in that off right there. Shalom.